Good afternoon. Welcome to Current Affairs. Under the Constitution of India, the general elections are held every 5 years. So, when I say general elections, these are the elections that are related to Lok Sabha and various state legislative assemblies. Meaning, general election is an election where the people will go and vote. So, and those elections are held in India every 5 years under the Constitution. And if you go back to the year 1947, so we got the independence and we commenced our constitution in the year 1950. And after that, we took some time for conducting the elections because conducting elections in a very, very large democracy is really a difficult task. And our first such exercise began in the year 1951 and 52. That was the first time in India general elections were held. And those elections started in the month of October 1951 and continued up to February 1952. And during that time, the elections for Lok Sabha and various state legislative assemblies were held together. But over a period of time, what happened? So at different times, we started conducting the elections for Lok Sabha and the state assemblies. And if you look at all the state assemblies also, these elections are not happening at a time. That is the reason why every year, so we face elections in one state or the other. But how far it is useful? So when it comes to a democracy, you need to allow the governments to function. Say, for example, you are going to have the elections in Uttar Pradesh. Example, I'm telling you, or some other state. So during the time, central government cannot declare any policies with respect to this Uttar Pradesh. So obviously, so you are you are stopping the government to function. That is the reason why in India, for quite long period of time, there was a discussion with respect to conducting the elections for Lok Sabha and various state assemblies together. And we know that it is not at all an easy task. For that reason, previously, Election Commission has given certain recommendations, and parliamentary standing committees also given certain recommendations. Various experts also gave recommendations, and every committee said that elections should be held together for all the state assemblies and also the Lok Sabha. So there are so many advantages with this. But is it so easy? Is it so easy? It's not at all easy. But very recently, what happened? Niti Ayog. You know what is Niti Ayog, right? So this is an organization that has replaced the Planning Commission. Niti Ayog, by taking the recommendations of Election Commission and various parliamentary standing committees into consideration, it came out with the new recommendations. If implemented very soon in India, we are going to have the elections for various assemblies and Lok Sabha together. It's not easy. It's not at all easy, even according to Niti Ayog. Otherwise, here, our present Lok Sabha is the 16th Lok Sabha. Elections were held in the year 2014, and next elections will be held in the year 2019, and that will be the 17th Lok Sabha. So, in order to conduct the assembly elections in the year 2019, along with the Lok Sabha elections, the situations may not be permitting. Either you need to extend the term of the assemblies or you need to reduce the term of the assemblies. Right? Is it so easy whether the political parties in various states will accept this? And central government cannot take any unilateral decision because we are living in federation. Because we are living in federation, you need to speak to various states and various political parties, and all the stakeholders interest has to be taken into consideration. Then you have to decide it. But if everything goes well, maybe from 2024 onwards, the elections may happen. With serious effort, elections may be held starting from the year 2019. But because of any difficulties are there, and if you want to overcome those difficulties during the time, at least from 2024 onwards, the elections can be held together. So that what will happen, the governments will be functioning. Clear, the governments will be functioning full-fledged, and there is no meaning for the democracy if the government does not function during some time. So that is the reason why, so there is a necessity to have it. But every committee that has given the recommendations made it very, very clear that it is not so easy to conduct such type of elections. Definitely, if any assembly's term is going to be curtailed by 1 year or 2 years, that the state may not accept. Definitely, it will not accept. And if you want to extend the term of the assembly, those states may accept. That's a different thing. But you need to take the opinion of all the stakeholders into consideration. Clear? And all the civil service aspirants, you please think on this. What are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? Is it so easy to conduct? And how come this how come you are going to reduce the expenditures? So with this, is it also going to reduce the expenditure? If so, how? Kindly please think on this. So now I'll open the document. I'll show you the document. Let's have look at few points that are present with me. Please have a look at this. Look at this. First time the elections were held in India in the year 1951 and 52. And recently, some recommendations have been given by Niti Ayog. You know Niti Ayog, National Institution for Transforming India. 17th Lok Sabha elections will be held in the year 2019. That already we know. And the present Lok Sabha number is the 16th Lok Sabha. Meaning, so far in India, 16 times Lok Sabha elections have been conducted. And for this reason, the term of the assemblies can be extended or reduced to facilitate conducting the elections together. But what happens if the Council of Ministers lose the confidence of the House? Now, so you are all there with me for Indian polity classes, and you know what is the meaning of the Council of Ministers shall be collectively responsible to the lower house. Lower house in the sense it is a Lok Sabha in the parliament and it is the assembly at the state level. And collective responsibility is nothing but after the elections, any political party which gets majority will claim to form the government, and that party will be allowed to form the government. And the government will continue. Kindly remember that party will form the government only when it has a majority in the lower house. And that party will continue to be there in the government as long as it enjoys the majority. The moment you lose the majority, that is considered to be losing the confidence of the house. Losing the confidence of the house, and the government may be dislodged by utilizing a procedure called no confidence motion. No confidence motion is used by, it's a tool used by opposition party to dislodge the government. Clear? And India experienced these type of no confidence motions many times, even in the Lok Sabha and in the various state legislative assemblies. But if you are fixing the time for 5 years, and if you want to conduct the elections only once in 5 years for all the assemblies and Lok Sabha together, in between, if there is a no confidence motion, then what will happen? During the time, the one suggestion is that along with the no confidence motion should also be introduced. No confidence motion is basically meant for dislodging the government, and no confidence motion will be introduced by the opposition party. Confidence motion is introduced by the government, and the government wants to prove that it has the majority in the house. So that unnecessary disturbances will be reduced if you introduce both no confidence motion and confidence motion together. Even after this, there is no guarantee that the government will survive. And the recommendation is that under the worst circumstances, under inevitable circumstances, if you have to dissolve the house and conduct the elections Clear, conduct the elections, and the elections should be conducted only for the rest of the period and not for 5 years. Hope you are getting me. Very, very, very important. Today, what is happening? If any assembly is dissolved, if Lok Sabha is dissolved, elections will be conducted. And once the new house has been constituted, the term of the new house will be 5 years. Clear? Again, the same old problem will be coming up. That is the reason why, if you want to stop all these things, you need to conduct the elections, and the elections will be held only for the rest of the period and not for the complete 5 years. Clear? So, and if you practice it very strictly, you will be conducting all the elections at a time. That is the reason why. Is it so easy? It is definitely not easy to conduct in such a manner. And another suggestion is that, say for example, after 4 years, just example I'm telling you, this Lok Sabha is dissolved, so you need to conduct the elections, but still one more year is there. You need to wait because all the assemblies are waiting for you. So during that time, what can be done is that this is the time where the president can take over. The president can take over, and the president can appoint his own council of ministers, and he can rule the nations through the council of ministers only for the short period of time. Clear? Only when you have the very limited period of time, then it can be done by the president of India. But can it be done? India is a parliamentary form of government where president is a nominal head and the prime minister is the real head. So, and you are trying to create a situation where the president will become the real head. Similarly, in the in the state level, governor will become the real head. Clear? So, for speaking purpose, they all look very easy, simple, and effective. But when it comes to the implementation, it will become very, very, very difficult a task. For this reason, you need to amend the constitution, and for this reason, you also need to make so many laws, and above all, various political parties in the country must accept for this. Clear? But on a large scale, in a long term, this is definitely going to benefit the nation. Clear? Once again, I'll open the document and I'll show you these points. Look at this. Right. What happens if the council of ministers lose the confidence? During this time, both no confidence motion, I think I have repeated this, right? I'm just removing it. Both no confidence motion and confidence motion can be introduced together. Kindly remember, no confidence motion is introduced by the opposition party. Confidence motion is introduced by the party that is there in the power. If the dissolution is inevitable, then the president can take over and appoint council of ministers of his choice for the rest of the term, if the time gap is very, very low, right? And if no party gets a majority, then the elections should be conducted only for the rest of the period and not for the complete 5 years. Clear? And kindly remember, this is not the first time that in India we are discussing about conducting the elections together. Clear? And it takes a longer period of time. It needs lots of courage. There is no doubt that India has the courage to go ahead. Clear? India has the courage to, break these, difficult circumstances. But how far the political parties will be accepting for this, we need to wait and watch. Otherwise, the suggestions are good, but when it comes to implementation, India has to be more and more dynamic. Okay, and I'll stop at this stage, and I'll see you in the next class with some more information on current affairs. And I wish you all a very, very good luck and have a wonderful day. Thank you.